The preceding podcast has been paid for by the PWO. Hey guys, it's Tim from the PWO. Super excited to be back here on YouTube talking to you guys about something that I love, professional wrestling, right? And we have been clamoring for ideas over the last, 8 months, especially with COVID and all that kind of stuff, coming up with some new content for the YouTube channel, especially when the gang, the rest of the outlaws, if you will, Mike, Matt, and John, myself, we all can't get together as much, and make a big deal out of the podcasts. So we want to try to give you something special, something new, again, some more content, and kind of came up with this idea, so we're trying it out here. Hopefully you guys dig what we're doing, dig what's going to happen, hopefully in the next couple of weeks here, holidays, craziness, all that good stuff. But when you think of wrestling, when you think of the big events, especially around the holidays, getting together with the family, you got to think of not only WrestleMania, maybe around the Easter time, stuff like that, but you also think about NWA, WCW, Starrcade, right? So what we're going to do today and over the next, hopefully 12 days or so, not in succession, but in something, over the next 12 days before the new year, we're going to break down, in my mind, some of the biggest matches, moments, good and bad, ideas, finishes, stuff like that, from Starrcade. So when we think of Starrcade, you got to go right off the bat and kind of give it a little bit of history. Some of you guys who may not be aware of it, most of you probably are by now, but for those of you, real quick synopsis, Starrcade started in 1983. It was the brainchild of the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, if you will. And Dusty Rhodes, was like, let me tell you something, baby. We gotta have this big idea. I got this big idea. It's called Starrcade. We're gonna have the biggest stars in Jim Crockett Promotions, and we're gonna put them all together. And when they all come together, it's gonna be this big, this huge, this ginormous event. We're gonna call it Starrcade, baby. And that transformed in 1983 all the way up to the year 2000. And we're gonna break some of this stuff down. So without any further ado, I'm giving you guys the very first edition of the 12 Days of Starrcade. So, starting off, like we said, 1983, Starrcade, and we're talking the Greensboro Coliseum, North Carolina, big town for wrestling, big state for wrestling, and of course, the man himself, the icon, if you will, Ric Flair, is what this show was truly based around. They called it a Flair for the Gold, and he was going one-on-one in the main event with Harley Race. I'm going to touch on that in a little while. But there are a couple other matches on this show that if you guys get the time to go and check out, whether it's on the WWE Network or any other streaming device that you guys may use, or platform, I should say, to use where you get your wrestling content. A couple other matches that may fly under the radar, especially if you don't really watch or haven't watched wrestling from, before, 1990 or so. And I think, you got to check them out. I'm going to kind of break them down in short form or maybe in a little bit of long form. I'm going to, see how it rolls. But we're going to talk about the first match that I think really set the stage for things to come as far as a hardcore scene goes. Now, you're thinking 1983, all right, hardcore, that really didn't come into play until like the mid-90s, stuff like that. Go back and watch the United States title dog collar match between Rowdy Roddy Piper and Greg the Hammer Valentine, because these guys beat the living shit out of each other. And I mean, it was just bloody and gory and, told an amazing, amazing story. So again, if you're a fan of that hardcore division, kind of go back, and if you haven't done it already, retrace the history. And I believe it kind of started in 1983 at this Starrcade with Roddy Piper and Greg Valentine. Vicious, vicious. You talk about, if you guys, relating it to today's standards, and to the things that are going on in the professional wrestling business today. Cody and Mr. Brody Lee had the dog collar match a few weeks ago on Dynamite, and they had Greg Valentine in there. I think they even mentioned him and showed him on screen. That's the match they were referring to, the dog collar match against Roddy Piper, Starrcade '83. If you're a fan of that hardcore, violent aspect, this one's going to be for you. Match number 2 on the Best of Starrcade 1983 edition is the tag team title match for the NWA World Tag Team titles. And we're talking about the Briscoes, Jack and Jerry Briscoe, your champions, your reigning, defending, undisputed, if you will, tag team champions, defending those titles against Ricky Steamboat, before the Dragon, I believe, before the Dragon, and Jay Youngblood. Now, you go from a really, really high-impact, brutal match like I was just talking about with Piper, Valentine, dog collar, and you get 4 of the most purest wrestlers ever. This match, Ric Flair and Harley Race were both like, shit, how do we follow this? And they were the main event. They were the reason. But you guys stayed, and everyone kind of fell in love at the time. All the fans fell in love with Steamboat, Youngblood, Briscoes. Technically sound. We hear that a lot in professional wrestling. But, some of these names like Daniel Bryan, Eddie Guerrero, even Chris Jericho, and I'm going to forget the name, but some of those guys, Shawn Michaels, Kurt Angle, the catch as catch can style, based from the Briscoes and Steamboat Youngblood. Go back, watch that. If you're a true student of the game, even if you're not, I think it's something to really check back on, look back on, see the history, the evolution of professional wrestling. Not, just, it's a great, technically sound tag team match, told a great story, and, totally just ahead of its time. The reason we're all here now is the main event. A steel cage match for the NWA World Title. Handsome Harley Race defending the title against the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. Gene Kiniski is your special guest referee. Now this one, again, it's your typical 1980s technically sound match, yes, but also violent. So it has a little bit of that mixture from the 2 matches we just spoke of, or that I just spoke of with, Pipers and Valentine, and then Steamboat Youngblood versus the Briscoes. This is kind of the in-between. This is putting it all together, putting that sandwich together, making it go. And you're talking about 2 of the best, hands down, in ring psychology and in knowing a crowd. They tore the roof down, or off, I guess. They just broke it down. It was a masterpiece. It was an awesome steel cage match for 1983. Again, you guys who don't watch or haven't gone back and watched some of this old stuff, to really truly appreciate where we are today as wrestling fans and as a wrestling industry. Starrcade 1983. These 3 matches specifically, and some of these matches that we'll list going forward on this special 12 days of Starrcade, I think is really going to set the standard and give you guys another understanding of what it is that we love about the sport of professional wrestling, and why we love it to today, and why we want these nostalgia acts to kind of come back. And, seeing the dog collar match, I just immediately thought of Piper and Valentine, stuff like that. But again, Flair and Race in Starrcade 1983, the main event, legit, hands down, the match you should watch on the show. However, giving you guys those two other options, if for whatever reason a Ric Flair 1983 match isn't your deal, your shtick, then you got those two other options. Guys, again, I really do appreciate, I know it sucks that I can't have Mike, Matt, John with us right now, giving you guys a full-fledged breakdown of a show or of just whatever comes to our heads. This is just a way for us to hopefully connect with you guys. If you like what we're doing, if you like this little quick blurb here that we're doing here, hit that like and subscribe button. Let us know, give us the feedback. And hey, you know, one day we will all be back to normal. And most importantly, take care of yourself, take care of your loved ones, wear your masks. This is the PWO PSA announcement at this time. We love you guys. We love everyone who has supported us throughout this crazy journey that we are trying to take. Looking forward to more great times in the future. Hopefully providing more content. Guys, if you want to hear us talk about anything, or, you know, just want to hang out and talk to you, we love to hear from you. Want to start our own kind of community if we can. We appreciate everything you do. Thank you all so much. And again, I'm going to just kind of synopsis here. Starrcade 1983. You got to check out Great Dimer Valentine versus Rowdy Roddy Piper and Dark Car match for the United States Championship. One of the bloodiest battles you'll see, but one of the most tough, man, you know, competitions, if you will, between two great guys who knew how to work the crowd. Tag title match, NWA World Tag Team title match, Ricky Steamboat and Jay Youngblood against the Briscoes, technically sound pure as anything. And your main event, Ric Flair and Harley Race, steel cage match, world title, tore it down, set the mold, set the standard, broke the mold, I guess, set the standard, and really has been an inspiration to my professional wrestling fandom. So guys, check this out. Again, thank you so much for what you are doing for us, helping us out, giving us the support that we need. We love you, and hey, we'll see you next time on the best of Starrcade, or what I like to call the 12 Days of Starrcade.